The dissent conversation is best framed by this sentence: your yes means nothing if you cannot say no. Dissent in itself is often considered disloyal, disobedient, and in some cases even betrayal. And it triggers most of us whenever we face a refusal. The reality is that without doubt, our faith has little meaning. And make no mistake, we all have doubts and reservations. The critical task of leadership is to protect space for this doubt. Get interested in people's dissent and find out why it matters so much to them. No in itself does not lose people their place at the table. It simply makes way for the more serious commitment conversation. And without expressing those doubts and reservations, we cannot begin to start talking about commitment. Saying no in itself does not create dissent, it simply expresses it. And once it is expressed, we as leaders can work with it in the room in such a way that it brings in this diversity, brings in the doubts and reservations. And once it is on the table, we can start to work with it. Often, this is the entry point to the possibility that we want to bring into life. In talking about dissent, we have to guard against what I term inauthentic dissent. And that's also always in the room. And as leaders and as conveners, it's something we need to be aware of. And there are three things that we need to be aware of. The first of them is denial. And that's when we pretend that the present is good enough. We let the large system dominate the game and the conversations. And it's almost as if we don't want to see the reality. The second is rebellion. And this also exists in the rooms we're in, expressed in anger and resentment and loud voices. It produces little power. It's in fact just works as a reaction to the world. And all it does is changes leadership from one to the other. And the last is resignation, the ultimate act of powerlessness when we think we have no power to change anything. The challenge is to frame the questions in a way that evokes authentic dissent, and to see dissent as a form of caring, not as resistance. We need to create space for dissent so that opinions are expressed openly and then belong to all of us as we keep working. The task of leaders, when we speak of dissent, is to model the behavior in the room. Allow and encourage dissent when it comes into the room. Recognize it, amplify it, so that we can start the real work about what it is that we choose to do together.